everyone, welcome back. So, you know your F major scale or F concert major scale in the FBA format. Congrats. So, now, your next job, folks. I want you to check out rhythm studies, okay? Rhythm studies. So, check out these rhythm studies. That's a lot of black dots we see on the staff. So before we go into this, I'm going to switch modes here. And I want to talk about those modes. So, first, subdivisions, okay? We know one little quarter note equals one beat. We learned that first day of beginning band, okay? Now, if we subdivide the quarter note and we break it into half, okay? We break it in half, we have two little eighth notes. And we count those as 1 and, or 2N, 3N, 4N, okay? So, eighth notes. Now, what if I decided to break the eighth notes, each of these guys, in half? I'm going to get, what kind of note do you think? What kind of note? If you said 16th notes, you are so smart. You got it. So, 16th notes. So, we're going to break it into, taking our quarter note now, and we're breaking everything into 4 parts, or our half note into 2 each. And 16th notes, guys, will have the double bar. So your eighth notes have the single bar, your 16th notes have the double bar, okay? So, rather than doing 2 sounds in 1 beat, like we talked about in beginning band when we were learning eighth notes, now we're doing 16th notes, and we're getting 4 sounds, 4 in 1 beat, okay? So, the counts for your 16ths are 1 E and A, okay? 1 E and A. All right, and you know I love food. So remember, we can also call your quarter note a pie, your eighth note as apple, and then if we wanted to put food to our 16ths, our 4 sounds in 1 beat, we could also think huck, ol, bear, re. So think huckleberry, 1 E and a huckleberry. Think of that, okay? So let's just do that really quick together with our instrument. Let's do it on a concert F. Just do 1 E and a, or huckleberry, just like this. Now, notice there's 4 sounds in 1 beat. You also want to make sure, guys, you're tonguing quick. If you're not tonguing quick enough, you're going to get this. It's going to be too slow. Your tongue is going to get in the way. So you got to make sure you're tonguing quick enough to make sure you get that subdivision of 4 sounds in 1 beat. All right, so we have huckleberries. Now, let's change gears really quick. What if we decided I'm going to take my 16th notes here, and I'm going to do this in another color. I decided to tie these together. Well, remember, one single eighth note is equivalent to 2 of these little quarter or 16th notes, okay? So, if you have the 2 16ths tied together at the beginning of your 16th note run, you can also simplify things and do 1/8 note beamed together with 2 16ths, okay? So here's your single 8th note. That's the equivalent to tying the first 2 together. And then you have your 2 16th notes at the end, okay? And so for counts for that, you would think 1, right? Because we have 1 E and a, but 1 and E are tied together. So to count it, we're going to skip the E because it's tied into the 1. The next count that comes next is and a. So it's going to be counted as 1 and a, 1 and a, okay? Or 2 and a, whichever beat it shows up on, okay? If you are thinking of food, because let's face it, food is awesome. We could also think of this as blueberry to feel that subdivision. So think blueberry or 1 and a, okay? So let's try that on a contra F really quick. Try it again. Again, make sure that you're tonguing quick. 16th notes, because you need to get those 2 sounds in a half of a beat's time. You're going to have to make sure you tongue it quick, okay? Now, what if I switched gears? Okay, I'm going to delete this part. If you need to go back and re-see that again, you can always rewind the video, guys. All right, what if I changed where I put the tie? What if I decide to put the tie on the end portion of your 4 16th notes, okay? So that means we're tying the end and the together, okay? So remember what I said, 2 16ths is equivalent to 1 single 8th note. So it would look like this if you're going to simplify things. So you have your 2 16ths at the beginning, and then you have your single 8th note hanging out by himself, but still attached to your 16ths, okay? So look where the tie is, okay? So the first 2 16ths we already know is 1 E, okay? The next syllable that comes up is and N is tied to the A or okay? So because this is tied, we're going to keep this silent, the A silent. So it's going to be 1 EN. If you count it like that, 1 EN. Okay? So think 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. Okay? Or if y'all are going back to food, because like I said, food is life, you can think nut. So say that with me. Coconut. Coconut. Okay? So let's play that on a concert F. So all you're doing from the coconut versus blueberry is you're just putting the 2 16ths in the front and the 8th note in the back instead of vice versa, okay? So I hope everyone's understanding this so far, okay? If you need help with this, please don't hesitate to email me, and I will also have a way to do video conferences to help you if you need help with subdividing or you need help with figuring this out, okay? So, folks, let's just take all of this away for a second. We learned we had 4 16th notes, no ties. We also said we could also see it in a form of the 2 tied together at the beginning to get 1 single 8th note beamed with 2 16ths. And then we also said we can see it the opposite way. We can have 2 16ths at the beginning beamed with a single 8th note. Okay? And remember, guys, the counts for these things. The first one, 1 E and a, or huckleberry. Remember, the food name for this one is going to be blueberry. Blueberry. And then the last one, think coconut. Okay? And remember, the counts for the middle one is 1 and a. Okay, because we're tying the 1 and the E together. This last one is going to be 1 E N because we're tying the N and the A together. 1 E N. Okay? Write this down if you need to so you don't forget, because we're going to switch from this board now. We're going to go into our actual exercise.